Lisa, it's great to have you on AHA. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Laura. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. So Lisa, tell me about where you teach and tell me about what you teach.
So I teach at Shenendehowa High School East, and I teach drawing and painting advanced. It's a second-year drawing and painting course, and I teach studio requirement course at Shenendehowa. The students have three options. One is a digital studio, then there's traditional studio, and there's crafts. I teach a craft class, so it's teaching the basic foundation of studio art, but it's through handmade objects.
Handmade objects, and,
Yes.
and I think in a digital age, that's a particularly interesting and important thing, and I think we should come back to that. But I was actually curious to know, Lisa, when did you know that you wanted to become an artist, and what do you create outside of time in the classroom?
Well, I was a student at Shenendehowa where I teach, and I had a fifth grade teacher, and I'm so honored that I get to say his name. His name was Mr. Harvey, and he was by far the biggest influence in my life in education, in art, because he just instilled in his students creativity. Going into a junk drawer and finding something to write with that's not a pen. Or he would just make things from nothing. We would bring in fabric and buttons and anything, old socks, and make puppets. And I just never forgot what an impact he had in our classroom. So years later, I had gone to school for art after I left Shen, and I actually was a potter. I majored in pottery and photography and was a studio potter and production potter. Hurt my back, had to have back surgery, and decided to become a teacher. So this was later in my life. I think I started when I was 40. So I taught at Schenectady, and you can do some math, for about 10 years. And now I've been at Shenendehowa. So at Schenectady, I taught elementary, and it was so great to sort of bring that energy that Mr. Harvey instilled in me to the little guys. That was wonderful. But while I was at Schenectady, I started to do oil painting. And some of the work you see behind me. So I exhibit locally. I teach actually at the Art Center in Saratoga, and obviously I teach my students at Shenendehowa, but I still try to have that passion and that excitement, that aha for my students. So that's my story.
You know, with the COVID-19 pandemic, it really had a huge impact on teachers and educators. Are you teaching online this year? What kinds of particular challenges do both you and your students face this year?
Yeah, from when school last March, when we were let out, at first we thought it was about a 2-week. We thought, at first we thought it was a weekend, a day. And then it became, 2 weeks, and then it kept getting extended and extended. And as we saw the extensions get longer, everybody just got a little, well, actually, I shouldn't say that. I, as a teacher, got more vested in what was happening. The students were either they were going to get into it and they were going to get excited and sort of hop on the online wagon, but for some it was just overwhelming. It was too much, and some of them just felt a sense of, at this point I'm so far behind, how can I catch up? I don't even know where to begin. So what worked in their benefit was the grading, how we were able to grade. Just sort of at Shen, we had two grades basically, where you could have showed evidence that you learned, or you hadn't learned yet. So there was always an open window for the student to just come back and try to learn. And there were students that would come back and complete assignments. I actually had somebody email me in maybe July to try to finish something. And at that point I was like, oh, I'm not sure what's going to happen at this point, but I did like that. So I think going forward in the fall, I do believe that they're going to have a similar grading, but a little bit more accountability on the students' part.
And it sounds like there was just a lot of uncertainty, and even some of those like logistical things like grading can be a big challenge.
Yes.
I'm kind of wondering too, on a bigger level, what kinds of strengths does art teaching and art learning in particular bring to a moment like this? Like, for instance, what can high schoolers and what can young Americans in general get from learning art and practicing art that maybe they can't get from other kinds of subjects in school, like science or math or English?
Yeah, well, I can tell you, I did have students that would join my Google Meet, like a Zoom, and they would say, yours is the only one I want to do. I look forward to doing this. It's so relaxing. I get to use my hands or whatever instead of just being on the screen. So a lot of the assignments that I would give them, they did not use their computers. They would have to go out. So for example, I showed them some images by some WPA photographers, and like Dorothea Lange, who documented tough times. And their job was to go out and do a photojournalism story about COVID and their interpretation and their experience with it. And so it gave them sort of purpose, what to do with their time when they weren't being academic or just trying to solve a problem. So art becomes like a lifelong, I'm a great example of it. When I'm not, like literally when I'm not cleaning my house or making food or whatever, I'm painting or I'm being inspired. I'm looking for ideas. I journal, I sketch a lot. I have the kids do the same thing. So a lot of the assignments that art teachers do have nothing to do with typing on the computer or looking at a screen. We'll have them go create something and then upload so that we can share it. So the kids went around their house and had to create a color wheel with items in their house, which was really fun to see. And then we all go through a virtual critique. But there's some really, there's things that we can do that I would never have done. I would never have done that if we were in the classroom. I would never have thought like, go home and, root through your house, or even the photojournalism, it's such a, and it just came right at the right time. That whole lesson was just, the timing of it was perfect with everything that was happening in the world. There was so much for the kids to express through photography.
It sounds like you really took this sudden shift to moving online because of the pandemic. It looks like you took it as an opportunity to embrace new methods of learning and new methods of engaging with the world, which is fantastic. And all your classes sound great. I'd love to take them. Such a great time talking to you, and
thank you.
Starting off this semester.
Thank you. Fingers crossed. All right, Laura. Thank you.